Okay, so let's get into it. We're talking about what life is actually like for expats living in the UAE, especially, places like Dubai.
Yeah, we've looked at a whole load of stuff, vlogs, YouTube reviews, Reddit threads, official guides, the works.
Right. And the idea is to kind of cut through all the glossy pictures, the Instagram hype.
Exactly. Get down to the nitty-gritty, the practical side, the good bits, and maybe the challenges people don't always expect when they move to the Emirates. What does all this tell you if you're maybe curious or even thinking about making that leap?
So maybe start with that first impression. A big one that kept coming up, like from this one expat from the UK, was just feeling safe.
Oh, definitely. It's more than just low crime stats, isn't it? It's feeling okay to wear what you want, not having that background anxiety about getting robbed or something.
Yeah, and for some, like that UK person, feeling respected,
Yeah.
especially as a Muslim, was a huge contrast to back home, that sense of security.
And that filters down to family life, too. People mention feeling, more relaxed about letting their kids play outside.
A big relief for parents, I imagine.
It's a really significant plus point that people feel almost immediately, it seems. Really shapes that initial quality of life feeling.
Absolutely. And talking about quality,
Hmm.
people moving from, say, Europe or North America, they often expect certain standards, right? Convenience, shops, infrastructure.
Right, but what's interesting is how often we heard that the UAE doesn't just meet those expectations, it often blows past them.
Oh, the shopping malls are incredible.
Oh, yeah. Amazing malls, tons of food choices, everything just works efficiently. If you want something, food, clothes, whatever, chances are you can find it easily. It's very convenient.
Okay, but let's talk about the climate, because you see the pictures, sunshine, blue skies.
And for a lot of the year, it is fantastic. Consistent sun, great for being outdoors, playing tennis, whatever. Waking up to that is, yeah, it's a definite perk.
But the summer.
Ah, yes. The summer, it's intense. We're talking temperatures hitting 50 Celsius sometimes. And the humidity, up to 90%. It's not just warm, it's like walking into a sauna. Stepping outside can feel like a real effort.
So how do people cope?
Air conditioning.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Your survival strategy is basically moving from one air-conditioned space to another: home, car, mall, office. It has to be.
Right, in the aircon to aircon lifestyle.
Pretty much. And what's funny is how quickly people adapt. You hear expats from colder places saying that after a while, 20 degrees Celsius feels genuinely chilly, like nippy. Your whole body just recalibrates.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. You also mentioned something about mozzies.
Oh yeah, mozzie season. Usually mid-October to mid-November. If you're near greenery or water, you'll definitely want some mosquito spray. It's just a seasonal thing to be aware of.
Good tip. And the heat is taken seriously, right?
Yeah.
Like for outdoor workers.
Absolutely. There are laws requiring mandatory breaks for outdoor workers during the peak heat of the day in summer, usually between 12:30 and 3 p.m.
So great weather most of the time, but you absolutely have to be prepared for that summer intensity.
Crucial. Managing expectations around the summer heat and humidity is key.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. Cultural norms. Because Dubai might look super modern and international.
But it's still fundamentally an Islamic country. And there are local customs and laws that everyone, visitors, residents, needs to respect. That comes through really clearly.
Yeah, you can't just assume things that are normal back home are okay there, like public drunkenness or being too affectionate in public.
Exactly. Even certain hand gestures. Stuff you wouldn't think twice about elsewhere can actually lead to serious trouble, even arrest.
There was that striking statistic, wasn't there, about Brits being more likely to get arrested in the UAE.
Yeah, it's often linked to these kinds of public conduct things. Kissing or cuddling in public, being obviously drunk outside a licensed place, even swearing loudly.
So alcohol is available.
In licensed venues, yes, hotels, clubs. But being drunk in public is the issue. That's a definite no-no.
So the takeaway isn't that it's super strict or oppressive necessarily.
Not really. It's more about being mindful, respectful. One person put it simply as, just being civilized. Don't cause a scene, don't offend local sensibilities, and you'll almost certainly be fine.
It's about understanding and respecting the local context, a different social understanding than many Western places.
Precisely.
Okay, the big one, money, cost of living. Dubai, especially, has this reputation for being expensive.
And yeah, the sources confirm it. It's definitely a tier 1 city price tag. Maybe not quite hitting London or New York levels for everything, but it's certainly up there.
And the biggest single cost seems to be accommodation.
Oh, overwhelmingly. Rent. It can just swallow a massive chunk of your income. We saw figures like up to 40% sometimes.
Wow.
And in the popular spots, the marina with its waterfront vibe downtown near the Burj Khalifa Business Bay. Prices are high. You could be looking at something like, say, 130,000 dirhams a year for a decent apartment.
And just to give people an idea, 130K AED is what? At around 28,000 pounds or 35,000 US dollars, roughly.
Something like that, yeah. It's substantial. Buying property is an option, too, for expats and can come with visa benefits, but that's a whole other level of investment.
And if you've got kids, school fees.
Oof. Yeah. Described as staggering. You're talking anywhere from maybe 40,000 AED up to 90,000 AED per child per year.
That's like 8,500 to 19,000 pounds or 11K to $24, 5K US per kid.
Per kid, yeah. Plus uniforms, books, trips. It adds up fast. Some jobs offer school allowances, which helps, but you have to budget for it carefully. Do your research on schools, check ratings, visit them.
And healthcare. High standards.
Mostly private, and yeah, it can be costly. Insurance is mandatory, usually through your employer, but the basic packages might not cover everything, or you might have high deductibles, especially for dependents or specialized care.
So those big three, housing, schooling, healthcare, can really hit the budget hard if you're not prepared.
Definitely where the financial planning needs to be sharpest.
And this is the huge but, isn't it? The reason so many people go.
The tax situation, yeah. For most expats, 0% personal income tax. Zero. Unless you're a U.S. citizen, they still have to pay U.S. federal taxes because of how their system works. But for everyone else, what you earn is what you keep.
That's massive, even with the new corporate tax.
Well, that's 9%, and only on profits above a pretty high threshold, like around $900,000 US a year. So for individuals, the personal income tax benefit is still the main draw.
And that must make a huge difference to your net income, even with the high costs.
Absolutely. Sources say it really accelerates your ability to save, invest, reach financial goals way faster than you might back home. It's a powerful incentive.
How's the job market generally?
Seems pretty strong and diversifying. It's not just oil and gas anymore. Tourism, finance, construction, real estate, services. Lots happening.
So jobs are there to be found?
Generally, yes. Though there's competition, especially for less skilled roles, finding work might not be instant, but it's definitely possible. Salaries vary, but one average figure for Dubai was around 16,000 AED a month. And remember, that's pre-tax, because there isn't any personal income tax.
Right. And it seems good for entrepreneurs, too, setting up a business.
Yeah, relatively straightforward, favorable conditions. And they even have that remote worker visa now, making it easier for people working for companies based elsewhere. The financial upside is undeniably a major factor.
Okay, let's talk getting around. You mentioned cars earlier.
Yeah.
Is public transport not really an option?
It exists. There's a metro, buses, trams in some areas, but sources suggest it's often not convenient or comprehensive enough for everyday life, especially if you don't live right on a line. So yeah, most expats end up getting a car.
And the driving. That's interesting.
Yeah, interesting is a good word. It's fast, lots of big highways. Exits can be confusing. And you've got drivers from hundreds of different backgrounds all adapting or not adapting to the local rules.
So a bit chaotic.
It can feel that way at first. People say give it a month or two to get comfortable. And definitely use Waze or Google Maps. You'll need it.
And traffic. Big city, big traffic.
Oh, yeah. Especially rush hour. Commuting between Sharjah and Dubai can be brutal. And around the big tourist spots, Dubai Mall, JBR, the marina things, can grind to a halt. A 20-minute drive can easily stretch to an hour.
What about getting a car? Rent, lease, buy.
Renting's popular when you first arrive, like a 30-day rolling contract. Costs maybe £450 to £650 a month for a decent car with insurance included.
Okay.
Buying secondhand is an option, cheaper long-term maybe. But we heard some horror stories about reliability. Leasing might be a safer bet. If you want to buy new and get financing, you usually need proof of salary going into a UAE bank for a few months.
Any specific driving tips that came up?
Yeah, a few. Use your side mirrors constantly. If you leave a gap in traffic, expect someone to jump into it immediately.
Right. No polite waving people in.
Less of that, maybe. Flashing headlights in the fast lane means move over. Horns are often used just as a quick toot toot, I'm here signal, not necessarily aggression. And yeah, be prepared for fines parking, lane discipline, that sort of thing.
Good to know. What about taxis?
Taxis are generally reliable and pretty affordable, yeah. And the apps are essential.
Like ride sharing?
Yeah, Careem is the big local one, similar to Uber, which is also there. Plus the RTA app for parking and fines. And Kofu for getting fuel delivered to your car or car washes at home. Super convenient.
And food delivery, too, I assume.
Oh, absolutely. Deliveroo, Talabat, Uber Eats. Heaps of options, often with good deals. You can get pretty much anything delivered.
Okay, let's touch on something Dubai gets criticized for sometimes. The lack of, well, nature. Green space.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Sources definitely acknowledge it's not very green. It feels like a city built right in the desert because, well, it is.
Some people
Yeah.
find that cool, though, right? The desert city vibe.
Some do, yeah. It has its own unique feel, and it's not completely barren. There are man-made parks, like Dubai Hills Park is quite nice, and obviously the beaches.
And isn't there a big plan to change that, make it greener?
Oh, absolutely. The Dubai 2040 Urban Master Plan. It explicitly includes goals to double the amount of green space, create more parks, increase public beaches. They are actively trying to engineer more nature into the city.
That's pretty ambitious.
It is. In the meantime, if you're really craving greenery, people mention popping over to Oman or maybe Qatar for different beaches. For some expats, this lack of immediate natural escape combined with the summer heat means they only live there maybe 6-8 months a year and travel during the hottest period.
Right, split their time.
Uh,
Okay, last big area, social life. Making friends, finding community. This seems complicated.
It really does seem to be one of the most talked about aspects, and yes, sometimes one of the trickiest. We heard from quite a few people who found it difficult to make deep, lasting friendships.
Why is that, do you think? What do people say?
Several things came up. One is the transient nature of the place. Lots of people are only there for a couple of years, so maybe less invested in building deep roots.
The here for 2 years mindset.
Exactly. Also, a sense that maybe people are very focused on careers, making money, maybe less on socializing just for fun. Some described interactions as a bit superficial or even need-based, like connecting based on what someone can do for you. Status and money can feel quite prominent. It can lead to feeling a bit like an outsider sometimes.
That sounds challenging. But not everyone felt that way.
No, definitely not. Others said they found it surprisingly easy to make friends, and quickly. Because everyone is from somewhere else, everyone's new, at some point there's this immediate shared experience.
That we're all in the same boat feeling.
Yeah, exactly. A kind of built-in camaraderie. Everyone's looking for connection, so if you put yourself out there.
So what worked for people who did build a good social life?
Being proactive seemed key. Leaning into communities that already exist through your apartment building, kids' schools, sports clubs are huge, like rugby clubs were mentioned.
So find your tribe.
Pretty much. Or even create it. One person said you have to be the cool person. Organize the barbecue, suggest the meetup. Don't wait for invitations, make them happen. Meetup groups, conferences, even just getting friendly with your neighbors, all strategies people found successful.
So it takes effort, but it is possible to build that community.
Definitely seems that way. It might not happen passively, but if you make the effort, you can find your people.
Okay, so bringing it all together, it's a real mix, isn't it?
Absolutely. On one hand, you have these incredible positives that kept coming up. The safety, the high standards, the convenience, and of course the huge financial boost from the tax situation.
Huge draws. But then you have the clear challenges. Adapting to that intense summer heat, the really significant costs for housing and schools, needing to be very aware of cultural differences and laws, the traffic.
And that potentially tricky social scene, finding your footing in a place where people come and go so often.
So it really sounds like a place of trade-offs. What these experiences seem to tell you, if you're listening, is that how you find it will depend a lot on what you prioritize.
Well, what do you value most? Are you prepared for the practicalities? How adaptable are you? Your mileage will definitely vary based on your own circumstances and attitude.
Yeah. And it makes you think, doesn't it, about the very idea of culture in a place like this.
How so?
Well, it's growing so fast,
Yeah.
built largely by people choosing to come from all over the world to build a future. What kind of culture emerges from that? From ambition, constant change, this global mix.
As opposed to a culture rooted in centuries of shared history in one place.
Exactly. It's just a different dynamic. Neither better nor worse, perhaps, but fundamentally different. Something interesting to chew on.